So may I start now? Pratibha? Arpit?
Yes, sir.
स्टार्ट करें बेटा?
Yes, sir.
हेलो, कौन? हाँ बोलो. हाँ लेटर वन, लेटर मेल पे ही लेटर लिख दो. कोऑर्डिनेटर यूपीएसडब्ल्यू 2020 के नाम. कोऑर्डिनेटर यूपीएसडब्ल्यू. ठीक. So I am starting the basic topic, high performance fiber. In this topic, you will find the maximum content which will be covered in different topics, and mainly we will focus on aramids. If you will see the commodity fibers and high performance fiber, there is a clear cut difference between these two classes of fibers. If you will see, in case of commodity fibers are produced in high volume, but high performance fibers are technically driven, so they are produced batch wise, means in very low quantity. Commodity fibers are price oriented, means everybody will look about the price of these fibers. But in case of high performance fibers, nobody will talk about the price. Everybody will talk about the performance. So price is not important, performance is important. Uh, Commodity fibers, large scale production is there. Here, small scale production is there. Continuous line production means 24/7, the production line will remain continue uh, throughout the year. But here, the batch-wise productions are made. Means, suppose you have to manufacture 5 ton of aramid fiber, then only 5 ton will manufacture by the manufacturer. Rest of the time, the plant will remain idle or stop. You will see the high temperature resistant fibers. If you will classify the temperature resistant fiber, you will find the fiber which can withstand uh, above 375 degree Fahrenheit, and it will remain continue safe up to 600 degree Fahrenheit. Then you can say these fibers are temperature resistant or fire resistant fibers. Uh, the definition of high performance fiber is, you can say here, the fiber that is specially designed and manufactured to give some specific performance characteristics under some specific ambient conditions are called high performance fibers. There are some examples of high uh, modulus high tenacity fibers. This is a group of fibers, you can say. This is a class of fibers. So number of fibers may come under this category, high modulus high tenacity. Kevlar is one fiber. Ultra high molecular weight polyethylene fiber, polybenzoyl fiber PBO, thermal resistance fiber, Nomex is there, carbon fiber is there. So all these fibers, a peak fiber, all those fiber will come under the category of high performance fibers. If you will see the history of aramid fibers particularly, then it starts from 1960, and the credit goes to DuPont, because DuPont has been invented uh, maximum number of textile fibers, maximum number of synthetic fibers, basically. So some other companies, they also manufacture, they also develop, like Teijin company. They have this is a Japan-based company. Teijin has developed the aramid with the trade name of Toron in 1980, and the inventor was Ozawa Matsuda. In last 20 years, there is no new aramid fiber has been invented across the globe. Whatever research is continued, that is only focused on structure and properties of these fibers, how to improve the structure, how to improve the properties, how to improve the tensile strength modulus, as well as production rate also. You will see the definition of aramid fiber. You will find that United States Federal Trade Commission, they coined a definition of aramid fibers in 1974, and they defined aramid. This is very important to all of you. Please listen. Aramid is a manufactured fiber in which the fiber forming substance is a long chain synthetic polyamide in which at least 85% of the amide, this is the amide linkage CONH linkages are attached directly between two aromatic rings. So two aromatic rings are connected by means of this amide linkage. And when this repeat unit polymerize, then we get the polyamide polymers, aromatic polyamide polymers, which is called as the aramid. So paraphenylene terephthalamide PTA, which is used to manufacture the Kevlar fiber, is the best example of monomer of this type. If you will see the concept of reaction, you will find there will be a amide based compound, there will be a COCl, means uh, where the OH group is replaced by Cl. So that will be a COCl, you can say. When you will polymerize it, you will get the AB type of polymer, and which will belongs to AABB homopolymer. You can compare with AABB type homopolymer. But here it is basically the concept of aramid synthesis. If you will see the actual polymerization, then you can say it follows the polycondensation polymerization. That I was saying in previous slide that there will be a compound which will consist the NH2 group. So this is polyphenylene diamine, the amine group basically, PPD. When it will react with the this terephthalonyl chloride TCl in presence of amide solvent, then you will get the paraphenylene terephthalamide. And what will happen? The HCl will produce. So when these two units will combine, two molecules of HCl will evolve. This is the process. Means first you have to dissolve this paraphenylene diamine in a mixture of HMPA. This HMPA is hexamethyl phosphoramide and methyl pyrrolidine, NMP. When you will cool it in ice and or acetone to bring the temperature to minus 15 degrees centigrade, or you can use the liquid nitrogen also. Add TCl with rapid stirring, then you will get a paste, just like a gel, and the paste will keep overnight, and then you will start the gradual warming to keep to bring that paste up to room temperature. The resultant mixture will agitate with water, and after that you will wash that solvent, will wash out the solvent, and then HCl. The polymer is collected after filtration. So you will get the polymer which will use for fiber manufacturing. The history of aramid I have already mentioned. One new thing is that meta aramid was produced by Tezin with the trade name of Conax, and a French company Carmel. They also produce with the name of Carmel. Production. The world capacity of para-aramid production is estimated about 41,000 tons per year in year 2002, and it was increased in 2007 up to 55,000 tons per year, and the annual growth rate was registered in between 5 to 10% in this sector. If you will see the aramid fiber production, the polymer solvent for spinning PPTA is generally 100% water free. That should be water free, and sulfuric acid is also used for that purpose. The aromatic polyamide solution processing temperature is in the order of 80 degrees centigrade. Means at high temperature, this spinning will take place for highly concentrated solution in 100% sulfuric acid. So in this way, you can just imagine the spinning conditions. Spinning conditions are not very much favorable for a human being at that condition. But after taking proper safety, the spinning is very common. It is very easy also. At that temperature, the solution state corresponds to a pneumatic crystalline phase. The degree of orientation of these polymer chains depends on solution temperature as well as polymer concentration. So as you will play with solution temperature and polymer concentration, the degree of orientation of molecular chain will affect significantly. The radial crystalline orientation can only be brought about using the dry jet wet spinning process. If you will use dry jet wet spinning process, means you will make a gap between the spin rate and the solution of spinning bath, and that gap will remain around 5 mm. It may be plus minus 2 to 3 mm. So Kevlar fiber have a very high molecular orientation, which has an almost directly proportional relationship to fiber modulus and is highly dependent on drying conditions, temperature, and tension. The molecular orientation, as you will enhance the molecular orientation, the modulus, tensile modulus, as well as tensile strength will increase. So molecular orientation is very, very important. That's why the dry jet wet spinning is proposed, or that is practiced to get the maximum polymer chain orientation. The monomers are made up of 14 carbon atoms, 2 nitrogen atoms, and 2 oxygen atoms, and 10 hydrogen atoms. If you will see the monomer of both these Kevlar as well as Nomax. A single Kevlar polymer chain could possibly have anywhere from 1 to 5 million monomers bonded together. 1 to 5 million monomers bonded together. It means its degree of polymerization may be 1 to 5 million monomers. 1 million to 5 million. Kevlar. Kevlar is the trade name of polyparaphenylene terephthalemide fiber, which was developed by DuPont. This is very important. Kevlar is a trade name of fiber. Kevlar is not a group of fiber. Kevlar is a fiber which is produced only by DuPont. If fiber is produced by a Japanese company, that fiber can't say Kevlar. Kevlar is can be produced only by DuPont. This is a group of fiber. The fiber is basically polyparaphenylene terephthalemide, PPT. Kevlar fibers were originally developed as a replacement of steel fiber in automotive tires. If you will see 20 years back, it was very 20 year or 30 year back, it was a very common word, steel radial. But now there is no steel radial. Now Kevlar, Nomax, all these fibers are used by these tire manufacturers also. You will see the density of Kevlar as well as the density of steel. You will find the tires are much more lightweight in comparison of previous tires, only due to the replacement of steel fiber by Kevlar or Nomax fibers. So Kevlar fibers were originally developed as a replacement of steel fiber, and Kevlar is high impact resistance and low density fiber. Impact resistance means when you will make a very sudden impact on a structure which is manufactured by Kevlar, then you will find a enough resistance against that impact. That's why the Kevlar is used for the manufacturing of bulletproof based bulletproof jackets also. We'll see. This is the basically this terephthalic acid. When you will combine with this diamine in with POC6H2 whole thrice in presence of LiCl and CaCl2. NMP is the solvent is there. Temperature will remain 100 degrees centigrade and it will keep for 2 hours. Then you will get this polymer. This is called as the PPT. Spinning. This Kevlar fiber is manufactured by solution spinning process. I have already mentioned. Solution spinning you can divide in wet spinning, dry jet wet spinning. So we are talking here about dry jet wet spinning. So some researchers, some research groups, research houses has been tried dry spinning also, but still this dry jet wet spinning is very common to manufacture these fibers. Solution is heated to 80 degrees centigrade, and the solution solid content remains 10%, very low solid content. Why? Because we require very high degree of molecular chain orientation. If you will enhance the solid content, means 40%, 30%, molecular chains will not get proper orientation due to high entanglement among the molecular chains. So here you can see, this is, you can say, the liquid crystalline domains. Means when the fiber is extrude out from a spinneret, before that molecular chains has been attained small crystal domains. Those crystal domains are called as the liquid crystalline domains. And when uh, these crystals, they will come out from the spinneret, and immediately they will found a stress which is applied along the fiber axis. They will orient along that direction, and after that coagulation will take place. So coagulation will take place in oriented situation, and after drawing, all those domains will orient along the fiber axis. So in this way, the degree of orientation can be engineered. This is a full flash, you can see, the commercial setup for Kevlar fiber manufacturing, where temperature control unit is there, heated dope vessel is there, and here you can feed 1 ton to 2 ton this solution, fiber manufacturing solution, where the solid content will remain around 10%. So with the help of this spinning pump, this fiber forming solution will extrude to spinning bath with a air gap of 3 to 5 mm. After coagulation, after solidification, the fiber will come in a spinning bath where the remaining solidification will take place. After that, the washing will take place to wash out the chemical, the solvent which is used to dissolve the polymer, and the solvent which is used uh, in spinning bath also. After that, then again the hot water spray is there for the uh, remaining washing of solvent, as well as to scavenge some other harmful chemicals also. Finally, the spun Kevlar filament will bind with the help of a binder. Gel spinning is another kind of again solution spinning. The difference between gel spinning and dry jet wet spinning is only in terms of solid content. Otherwise, if you will see the setup of dry jet wet spinning and gel spinning, you can't differentiate. So here the solid content will remain around 6%, 7%, 8%. Liquid crystalline solution, I have already mentioned, when the molecular chains will fold very close with each other, and this angle beta, it will, if it is around 10 degree or less than 10 degree, then the liquid crystalline domains are formed very easily in case of this Kevlar fiber spinning. Here you can differentiate Kevlar fiber with nylon 6 fiber, because nylon is also a polyamide fiber and Kevlar is an aromatic polyamide fiber. So what happens in case of nylon, there is a fringe micellar model is there. Fringe micellar model means these bricks like structure are basically micelles. Huh? And in case of Kevlar, this is a fringe fibular model, means crystal structures are connected with another crystal structure by means of fibrils. So this structure is more stable. This fringe fibular structure, fringe fibular model is more stable. It poses high modulus, high strength. If you will see the atomic configuration, then you will find if cis structure is there, cis configuration is there, then you will say more amorphous region will be there. When you will when you will stretch the molecular chain, this cis structure will convert to trans structure, trans configuration. So that is basically extended structure. So in case of trans configuration, the molecular chain will remain more oriented, and the remaining concerned atoms, they will come inside, and the molecular chain will become more straight. These are the properties of Kevlar fiber. It is a high tensile strength fiber, 5 times stronger than steel fiber. This is a very common question which is asked in different interviews and different written tests also. How the ratio between strength of tensile strength of Kevlar with steel? So your answer should be 5. It is 5 times stronger than steel. High modulus high elastic fiber. Very low elongation means you can't further extend this fiber too much. It will break if you will try to further extend it. It is low weight means its density is also very low. It's not too high. High chemical inertness means normal chemicals will not affect this fiber. Very low coefficient of thermal expansion means stable, thermally stable, highly thermally stable. High fracture toughness. Fracture toughness means impact resistance is very high. If you will try to penetrate knife, will not easily penetrate through this type of fabric. High cut resistance, it will not cut easily by scissors or knife. So you can manufacture cut resistant gloves by using the Kevlar fiber. Flame resistance, its burning starts at 427 degrees centigrade, and the temperature of outermost part of flame that remains around 300 degrees centigrade. So it is 127 degree higher than the temperature. So when you will keep this fiber continuously in the contact of flame for a very long time, then it will degrade. Otherwise, in normal situation, it will not degrade easily. So here you can see the comparison of commodity fiber or apparel grade fiber with high performance fiber. So polyamide and polyester are commodity fiber or apparel grade fiber. Steel, carbon, glass, aramid, ultra high density polyethylene, all these fibers are basically high performance fibers. So clear cut is difference is there. In case of high performance fiber, you will never find the elongation more than 5%. Okay, and but in case of apparel grade fiber or commodity fiber, you will not get the elongation less than 14%. So it should be there. So these are the both different classes which are combined in a single picture to give you the clear cut difference between high performance fibers and apparel grade fibers. Moisture attraction by Kevlar. X-ray data have shown that the water molecules from moisture uptake don't enter the unit cell of crystal lattice. Hence, the amide water molecular interactions are likely to be confined to the polymer chain on the surface. Secondly, the presence of microvoids on surface. They are responsible to get attract the moisture. Otherwise, there is no mean to strongly attraction of water inside the Kevlar fiber. Limitation of Kevlar fiber. It has very low moisture regain. That's why we can't manufacture the briefs of Kevlar fiber, shirts of Kevlar fiber. Very difficult to cut. This point can be considered as a demerit and as a merit both. Low compressive strength. This is definitely a demerit. Its compressive strength is poor. Physical properties of Kevlar fiber and other fibers also. Here, this is a clear-cut comparison. We will compare with the ultra-high molecular weight polyethylene. I will discuss this fiber separately in a lecture. The strength is 2,300 to 3,500 megapascal, and density is 0.9 grams per centimeter cube. Kevlar, this is 2757, and density 1.44. Carbon 4137. Carbon has uh, too high, carbon fiber has too high ultimate strength in megapascal, and its density is 1.75. So it is very low in comparison of steel fiber. If you will compare the density of steel, it is 7.8. 7.8. So you can just imagine the density of Kevlar is 5 times less and strength is 5 times higher. Modulus of these materials. Here you can compare the modulus of these materials also. If you will see the modulus of carbon, then it is too high. But highest modulus you will get in case of single wall carbon nanotube, and multi-wall carbon nanotube will give you the further higher modulus. That's why the single wall or multi-wall carbon nanotubes are used in different fiber before spinning to enhance the modulus of these materials, these fibers. If you will see the modulus of carbon, it is fiber, it is 300 to 400 gigapascal. So this is the comparison in terms of modulus. Molecular requirement of aramid. If you will see the polymeric composition, wholly aromatic polyamide, both Nomex and carbon, and absence of unstable linkage. There is no unstable linkage. Whatever linkage is there, linkage stable. Unstable linkages present in case of urethane fiber like lycra, urea, alkene, That's why the thermal resistance of these two fibers is too high. Copolymer with the dissymmetrical unit inclusion like this O, CO, SO2, amide rather than the esters, then the solubility of these fibers will influence. High molecular weight. This fiber has very high molecular weight. This molecular weight enhance the chain flexibility by incorporating, means you can engineer a chain flexibility by introducing these groups. If you will introduce, the fiber will become more flexible. Rigid molecular chain and high crystallinity is there. That's why both fiber gives very high dimensional stability also. Chemical properties of these fibers. Aramids are not sensitive to organic solvents or oils. Oil or organic solvent doesn't harm this fiber. Kevlar, Tauron, and other aramids are sensitive to strong acid and strong bases. And certain oxidizers like chlorine bleach can harm this fiber. So sodium hypochlorite is not recommended to bleach these fibers. Exposure to these cause against these chemicals degrade the fiber. Regular chlorine bleach, Clorax cannot be used with Kevlar. So oxygen bleaches such as sodium perborate can use without damaging the aramid fibers. Hydrogen peroxide cannot be used. This is important for anyone cleaning boat ropes like sail containing Kevlar. A number of applications are there. If you will see the types of Kevlar fiber, you will find the Kevlar 29. It's a high strength fiber and it will give 3600 megapascal tensile strength, low density 1.44 grams per cc. It is used for Bluetooth based composite armor reinforcement, helmets, ropes, cables, asbestos. Where you want to replace the asbestos fiber, you can use Kevlar 29. Then another Kevlar is Kevlar 49. It is high modulus fiber, which will pose 131 gigapascal modulus. High strength, it will give 3800 megapascal tensile strength, low density 1.44. And this fiber has found its application in aerospace, automotive sector, marine applications. The next one is Kevlar 149. This is ultra high modulus fiber, which have 186 gigapascal modulus, high strength, that is around 3400 megapascal, low density 1.47 grams per centimeter cube, with high crystalline region as well as reinforcing dispersing capability. And it is used for the composite material which are used to replace various aircraft components to reduce the weight of total weight of aircrafts. This I have already discussed. These are the difference between Nomex and Kevlar. If you will see the repeat unit of both these fibers, you will find the clear-cut difference. Nobody will explain you like this slide. Nomex is top one, Kevlar is bottom one. The difference, if you will see the molecular weight of repeat unit, same. In case of Nomex, what is this? The amide linkage is at meta state, meta position. In case of Kevlar, the linkage is at ortho position. So this is the difference. Para position. In case of Kevlar, the linkage is para linkage. In case of Nomex, linkage is meta linkage. This is the difference. And this difference make huge difference in terms of its properties. So if you will see the actual orientation of molecular chain inside the fiber, you will find this type of orientation if all linkages are extended in transposition. This is the radial alignment of molecular chain inside the fiber. You will see the crystalline region and amorphous region, how crystalline and amorphous region are packed with each other. Then you will find this type of situation. Application of Kevlar. Kevlar may protect carbon fiber and improve their properties like hybrid fabric, Kevlar plus carbon fiber. If you will use Kevlar with carbon, you will get extremely excellent properties, which is not possible alone either by Kevlar or by carbon fiber. The most popular matrix material for manufacturing fiber reinforced polymers is used or opted Kevlar fiber is as a reinforcing material. Thermostats. epoxies, vinyl esters are used as a matrix material to manufacture or to develop various type of composite material. Kevlar fiber reinforced polymers are manufactured by open mold process, closed mold process, and by pultrusion method. These are three very common, very popular methods used to manufacture composite materials. These, sorry, yes, these are basically the Nomex fiber, which is produced by DuPont. Nomex is used to manufacture different gaskets, sealing gaskets. Sealing gaskets which are used in oil refineries where the oil at high temperature transport from one place to another place. So normal these rubber gaskets are not useful there. They will melt, they will degrade easily within uh, minutes. So Nomex based sealing gaskets are manufactured and they are used successfully there. Uh, Conveyor belts. So Nomex and Kevlars are used to manufacture these conveyor belts because these fibers can withstand a high temperature. Conveyor belts has to carry the material at high temperature also. They have to move inside the melting zone, cooling zone, this way. So these fiber can remain withstand up to those temperature conditions. Technora, Sulfron, these are the fiber produced by Teijin, and Toray also produced the Kevlar fiber. Uh, the fiber core. This is another, the aramid core is there. PVC fiber is surrounded. PVC polymer is surrounded. Means cladding material is PVC and aramid as a core. Or you can change also. Means aramid at sheath and PVC at core. So aramid fiber honeycomb woven structure that is very useful and that can be used in the manufacturing of 3D fabrics also. These are some other applications: fabrics for aircraft, aramid for spun burning, aramid fiber blanket, fire blanket, aramid cut resistant gloves, aramid based fire resistant clothing. Uh, if you have wear the this aramid based glove, you can keep the fire on your hand. The aramid based seat cover fabric for high performance, or you can say these Formula One cars, the seat belt or seat covers are manufactured by these aramid fibers. Otherwise, in normal cars, the seat belts are made with nylon 6/6. Aramid based aircraft tires, aramid based brake linings for these Formula One cars or some these costly cars. Aramid based mooring ropes which are used in cranes to lift very heavy weight materials goods. Clutch facings or vehicle cover, hoses for the offshores. So n number of applications of aramids is possible. So I will discuss this ultra high molecular weight polyethylene fiber in a separate lecture. So this is all about for today. Is there any question? Sevas, Srishti, did you got my point? Whatever I taught you? Are you getting my voice? Sawat Hussain, Omkar Sharma, Sonal, are you listening lecture or simply you joined and you are not there?
Yes, sir. Listening.
Listening. So what did you learn during this 1 hour? Okay, so you keep write your questions, kept ready for next lecture. You can discuss if you have any query in next lecture. Okay, and very soon I will take next lecture also, most probably tomorrow or something like that. Okay, I have to cover your course because I taught this whole subject for MMFT students, where it was not required, it was not applicable for those students. This course is uh, coined for TE students, but that was by mistake there. So anyway, I will cover it. Others,
यस सर.
बेटा जितने बच्चे प्रेजेंट हैं सबका एक अटेंडेंस नोट कर लो, मैं तुमसे कवर कलेक्ट कर लूंगा.
ओके सर.
ठीक है, चलो.
यस सर, हो गया.
ठीक है, ठीक है.
थैंक यू सर.